Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Tuesday's heavy rainstorm in Accra has led to the collapse of several billboards, with some causing significant damage and creating a serious public safety hazard. The Advertising Association of Ghana has revealed that 60% of the billboards are mounted illegally. Andrew Aka is president of the association. He is on Zoom to discuss this. First, this report.
Street lights destroyed, billboards down, all due to the heavy winds which accompanied the rains last night. Those who use the stretch are concerned.
We have a problem with this thing that we see here. It's giving us a problem because I work around here. From the latest room to all this side, everything is collapsed. And we've complained so many times, and they are not doing anything. When we talk about it, and they said we should go to the AMA at Kaneshi, we went there several times. Myself personally, my boss, we went there. They said we don't have any control over it, that we should go and see the authority. So who is the authority that can stop all this? Because when we close from work, if something like this, what will happen is it will create a big disaster for us. So please, the government should come and do something about it.
There are a whole lot of factories here, meaning there are a whole lot of factory handmen who are working around here. The time in which this thing happened was around the time where workers were going home. If not that they decided to stay in their various factories and wait for the rain to stop before they go home, there would have been a different disaster all over. It is too much. It is an industrial area, a very busy place. So the government should check, or those who are involved, those who are responsible for it, they should check. It's too much here. It's too much here. Imagine, look at how closer is it to our electric post too. Imagine if I don't gone forward or back and came to this side, then it would have caused another thing.
This security man, who saw how most of the boards fell, has the strong advice for owners of the billboards.
It's better material, or maybe if they do this thing, they have to do something that will be handy or chalk the big ball. Otherwise, this one, like, we thank God that there is no any vehicle passing around. Like casualty, we will hear something that we supposed to not be.
Other passerbys are equally concerned and urge authorities in charge to strictly enforce regulations on mounting the billboards.
For the billboard industry, let us have a way of erecting them and making them permanent. For example, some countries, if they even want to make a spoon, they consider how long would it last. So in simple, let us consider sustainable way as a country of building our projects, but not just building it for immediate use and effect. The best way is to face the law. That is either by pulling it down, by sanctioning, by fining them to pay, so that people will take these sustainable measures serious.
The crew had been on the stretch since 8 a.m. and by midday as we were leaving, we had not seen any authority or any of the billboard owners making an effort to repair or remove the fallen boards. For Joy News, I am Hannah Odami.
And I should add that this report was filed on Wednesday. Join us, as I indicated earlier, President of the Advertising Association of Ghana, Andrew Aka. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, what are the thoughts running through your head as you see the impact of the rainstorm on billboards in the city?
I mean, it's bad. It's bad. It's terrible. I think that the lives of our pedestrians on the road and the lives of drivers who are using the road are actually in danger. And we've known this for a long period of time, and we've been calling on the authorities who are responsible for issuing those permits, that there are clear guidelines on how these things should happen. The reason we stated, because we have data and enough information to bring out this report that 60% of the billboards out there are illegal. First off, they're illegal because they do not qualify the structural integrity that should receive a permit for it to be mounted either on the roadside or anywhere else which is designated by the guidelines. Thirdly, it is also against the guidelines which the Ghana Standard Authority, together with Urban Roads, together with the Highways and Advertising Association of Ghana, and other experts got together in 2009 to issue clear guidelines. Is about a 90-page document which every MMDAs, which is municipal Metropolitan Municipal and District Assembly should be using as guidelines for issuing permits. The reason why I talk about structural integrity is that the MMDAs are the ones responsible for issuing permits. Now, how do you go through a permit? Just like when you're building a property, you let an architectural designer actually design your building, get a structural engineer to also draw the buildings, go to the permit, let the expert come and inspect both the land, do the soil test and all of that before they recommend or they issue the permit. On this side of the aisle, which is the billboards, I do not think that this is adhered to, except for a few who understand the business of billboards, who actually go through the process, draw their drawings, and actually get a qualified structural engineer at the MMDs who can issue the right permit.
Yeah, I'm sure following these discussions underway to prevent such incidents from occurring again. Talk to us about the engagement with local authorities, about how to address the safety, the risks associated with these illegal billboards that are being mounted.
To be blunt here, honestly, we are all getting tired, right? Last year, the National Road Safety Authority, together with the AAG and some MMCs, actually got together to figure out, plus Urban Roads and Mass Art, to figure out if we can have a lasting solution to this. There is a political angle that makes it very, very difficult to implement anything which is going to cure the canker that we have on our roads. And that is because of the nature with which the MMCs are elected, they are brought into power, they're unable to do anything. They always also tell you they don't have the requisite manpower, they don't have the resources to bring these billboards down. So it's a problem which is fraught with a lot of political nuance. I mean, you saw it during this election, right? Because you see an MP who is vying to be voted or a presidential candidate, how dare you want to pull that billboard down, right? You saw the median signs, which is illegal, prohibited by the guidelines, not to put any sign in between the road, which will obstruct visibility, either pedestrian or vehicular. So clearly you can see that the laws are there. I can tell you it is comprehensive. The ones that are in control of ensuring that this law happens are the MMDAs. So the question we should be asking the MMDAs, why is it that there's a law? Why is it that they continue to issue permits for illegal billboards to be mounted? I'll give you 3 clear examples. Within the law, right, there's a reason, you see, there's a principle of advertising, there's a reason why you need to place billboards, not within 100 meters. There's a reason for that, right? Because I think the people at the assembly do not understand the principle behind that, they don't care issuing billboards in between 100 meters. There are clear guidelines. For example, from the edge of the road to where you mount your billboard should be 5 meters. I can tell you when you're driving today, one billboard can actually be hitting your windscreen or actually, causing damage to your vehicle. Again, you go to junctions, you see multiple cluttered billboards. You can see 12, 13 at the junction. By the law, you can't have more than 3 billboards, at the junction. So clearly, and in between billboards that are lateral, you can't have more than 3 meters. So clearly, it feels like a banana republic. There's a lot of smokes and mirrors. Nobody wants to be responsible. The guidelines are here, and it's actually hurting those, of our members who are actually going by the books, and their business is suffering.
Talk to us a bit more about how this is impacting the industry. Yes.
No, it's horrible. Why? Because we do not think that those who are mounting these illegal billboards are actually paying the right amount to their MMDs. And I'll give you an example. Last year, we conducted, an outdoor audit at Adenta municipality. When we were done, we noticed that Adenta municipality had 2,000 billboards. Can you imagine?
2,000.
Just Adenta municipality, 2,000 billboards. I can tell you that in that meeting, people were shocked because those who are working in that MMC did not even know that they had 2,000 billboards. The next question was, so where are we? Where is the money? We're supposed to be getting rent for these billboards. Where is the money? So 1, there's lack of information. 2, no one really cares. 3, there are rules that people are flouting. So look, it's killing our members who are going by the books because it's affecting their business. They don't pay rent. They use poor materials. They don't use the right designers for the structural integrity and all of that, so they can undercut their pricing. A billboard that on the average should cost about, say, 5,000 Ghana cedis, per month. They can go and offer it for 2,000 because they do not go by these guidelines. So their cost of running the business is pretty low. So it's a very serious issue, and I think that with this whole new agenda of resetting, the economy. The aesthetics of Accra is terrible. In fact, I would say Accra is littered not with plastic but with billboards, and these are dangerous, for commuters on our roads.
Yeah, and I can tell the association is frustrated by this. And so you tell us that there are regulations, but they're just not being enforced. So, I mean, we know what the problem is. Going forward, how do we ensure stricter oversight?
I'll give an example. So it was the same, if you're in Lagos about 7-8 years ago, you would have seen the same issue of cluttered billboards, unregulated spaces and all of that. What the governor did then was to declare every billboard illegal. And it was radical, it was draconian, but trust me, if you land in Lagos today, you would appreciate how that draconian method helped in cleaning up Lagos. And with that, you were able to price properly. With that, the billboards actually add to your cityscape and aesthetics of the city, and you can get proper, regulations on there. The second, which I think is very important, is that it looks as if every regime for the past 15 years is turning a blind eye on the call from the Advertising Association of Ghana to pass the advertising bill. We are probably the only country within the sub-region that, a very important economy, top 10 in the sub-region that doesn't have any law that regulates advertising. You're talking about more than $500 million industry, and there's no regulation that governs us. So, you have a bit of regulation in Standard Authority. You have a bit of regulation which is seated in FDA, Food and Drugs, Authority, who are doing, I would say a decent job with that. But I can tell you they are not professionals. The same with the pharmacists, so I cannot go and decide which ingredients should be in any food. I do not think that the same pharmacists can also decide what marketers should actually communicate about goods, except when it comes to claim about ingredients and all of that. So one, I think that there must be a radical method of cleaning up, which means that make most of these billboards illegal, if not all of them, and restart the whole process. And two, let's all put our energy behind, passing this advertising bill. It is very, very important. We've been at this for the past 15 years, and no government is been to Parliament twice. Anytime it goes to Parliament, there's no energy behind it. No one cares. And it's not just covering the billboards. You're talking television, you're talking radio, you're talking a lot of things that is hurting our industry, and no one seems to care.
It makes you wonder why nobody cares. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrew Aka, President of the Advertising Association of Ghana. Like you point out, we need really radical measures to address this before there are any more fatalities. I appreciate your time here with us on The Marketplace. We'll certainly follow up on this. Now, you're watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. When we come back, small businesses react to the repeal of the electronic transfer levy. That's coming up after this break. And welcome back to The Marketplace. Time to make some business with politics. The big political story of the week, I guess, is the repeal of the e-levy, that making rounds today. We want to dig into that. President Mahama is expected to sign the bill repealing the controversial e-levy and other key taxes into law by next Wednesday. While this move is expected to provide relief to the public who have long felt the burden of the e-levy, what is the impact going to be on small business owners? What's their view of the change? What would the impact be on the operations? Joining me on Zoom to discuss is Harrison Matthew, who is owner of 1115 Restaurant, also lead for Eyes of Africa, Henry Cobbler. Good afternoon to you both. I want to start with you, Harrison. What's been your reaction to the repeal of the e-levy?
Very well. Good afternoon to you and our listeners and viewers. I said it was exciting hearing the speaker say the ayes have it when he asked whether the bill should be passed, because it's been draining. The e-levy has been draining especially for those of us who run small businesses. So the effects on our transactions, if you have to make payments, just hearing that the bill has been passed in Parliament even before it takes effect for me was an excitement.
Yeah, I'll be talking to Henry in a bit, who is much more into the tech space. But I'm sure people are wondering just how the hospitality industry was impacted by e-levy.
So Daryl, I'll say transaction costs. Food. You buy food, you're either going to order online, pay online. So we had a chunk of our money, our revenue going into paying for e-levy and paying for transactions we do online, either by our banks or through mobile money transactions. So for me, now that this levy is gone, it's going to improve transaction. It's going to reduce our transaction costs. We can pay suppliers. Our vendors can equally pay us. We can equally manage our businesses digitally or online. We can engage people like Henry to do business and manage our finances for us. Also, it will improve financial inclusion. Most people, if you've noticed, a lot of people, if you want to pay them with mobile money, will tell you, don't send it by mobile money. I prefer cash, or they ask you to add the charges to it. Now that the e-levy is gone, or the electronic transaction levy is gone, I'm sure that it will improve digital inclusion. A lot of people will jump onto mobile money now. And I also believe that it will boost customer transactions, because people will have money in. I mean, if I'm going to order food 10 times for 10 people, I'm going to pay 1% on that, or 1.5% on as e-levy. It means customers who have money in their pocket will be able to transact more using mobile money. People from other places could also buy from us. So there are all these advantages that we will enjoy. And for us who run small business, who have to make purchases, so I buy things from Agogloshi, from Medina, and there are times when you have to pay the rider. You're paying all these people by mobile money, and the charges will deter you. Sometimes you prefer to take a ride and go to the market yourself instead of paying by paying online. So I believe that this will come in to boost business for us as small business owners.
Yeah, Henry, was it that much of a big deal for tech businesses when the e-levy was introduced 2 years ago? Did you see any significant difference in the impact on operations?
Thank you very much, Taro. So yes, I think that we saw significant points when it comes down to how it affected businesses, and businesses which we do a lot of integrations in terms of financial integrations into their businesses. I mean, we've seen quite a lot of people pull away. Recently, I had to do a donation website for somebody, and I mean, the e-levy, even on the donations alone, in terms of picking up payments, it was really a significant amount of money. I mean, and so if you're looking at people in that sector where they're looking at picking up donations from bits and pieces of people, it really had a very huge impact. Again, for us as tech people, you had quite a lot of people not necessarily wanting to put in integrations into their businesses. If you look into the fintech industry as well, you would have realized that there was a lot of investor which probably would have lost confidence in investing into the businesses, because again, you're having low numbers. When it gets down to the fintech industry, you're basically doing a lot of numbers. And so if you're looking at how most of these fintechs and investors are looking into investing, they really had lost some level of confidence in there. If you're looking at the numbers, I think one of the segments we spoke about how the fintech industry had low levels of investment flowing in. Again, we were looking at how the ease of business had come into play. It had really impacted on the ease of business. I mean, people were shying away from getting into putting in transactions rather than getting it to flow. So I would rather prefer that I'm paying in cash rather than sending money easily and getting things done, which really was affecting a lot of business again. Again, also the financial inclusion. businesses. We're looking at how we're trying to rope in people. Look, Daryl, I've been to the US, and I can tell you the mobile money innovation is one of the most innovative ideas, because even in the US, which is a more advanced system, now they're using Zelle, which is almost equivalent to mobile money. And so people prefer to send you a Zelle via your mobile money rather than to even ask you for a bank account. And so it's one of the most innovative ideas that we've had in play in Ghana and probably in Africa. And I think that it relatively was taking a lot more people out of the game. Just knowing that, just sending money across was just going to have e-levies on it. The mere psychological effect of knowing that you're going to pay taxes on monies you've already paid taxes on, and to send to people was really a psychological drain on a lot of people. Whenever I'm making payment on my mobile app and I see it, I just have to psychologically close my eyes and just let it. Because if you're looking at the charges, you really wouldn't do the transactions. But in some cases, you're only forced to do those transactions. And so I think that really taking it away puts in a lot of formalization to our digital economy. There's been a lot of talk in our digital economy, but away from just taking the e-levy out, I'm looking at the cost-benefit analysis it's going to give to businesses, individuals, and all of that. But I'm also looking at how governments can capitalize on this to roll it out to everybody. I think that that's the next stage that the government should be looking at. They shouldn't just leave it out to say we're taking the e-levies out, but they should also be looking into how they can channel a lot more energy to moving a lot more people to be inclusive in the financial sector. Right,
Harris, I'll let you have the last word. And so, e-levy has been repealed. For you as a restaurant owner, does it alleviate? I know the challenges are many, but to what extent does it alleviate your challenges, and what do you expect from the government?
I know that my customers I'll be happy receiving payment by mobile money. We call it be doing a lot of transactions by mobile money. So for me, it's a good one, and I'm more than happy that the government has been able to live up to its words.
All right. Thank you guys for speaking with us on the Marketplace. I appreciate your time. Harrison Matthew, who is owner of 1115 Restaurant, also Lead for Eyes of Africa, Henry Kobler. Before we go, we want to tell you about tonight's budget forum by Joy Business. We're going to be talking about the 2025 budget. It's going to be hosted by the head of Joy Business, Winston Amwa. It's 6 p.m. right here on this channel. You don't want to miss it. We'll be here till 9 p.m. As we look forward to the 2025 budget, its execution, and whether or not is really an answer to issues with fiscal discipline. That discussion happening at 6 p.m. tonight. Fixing the Fundamentals is the 2025 budget, Ghana's last shot at fiscal redemption. Tune in right here on this channel at 6 p.m. Also, will be live on Joy 99.7 FM. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Carr. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.